Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the board, yeah.
Coming out with the energy, we gonna need it.
I know, man. I had to show off the vocals a little bit. You know, when I get my time to shine, I gotta put on the show, right?
I don't think I ever told you this, but I do like the way you do it. It is better than P's.
Oh, I know. I feel like I hear people say that.
I don't want to hurt his feelings, so.
Because I think he got too much bass. I think he got to start adding a little bit of a monotone. He got to start adding a little bit more to his bag.
Too light-skinned for
Yeah,
it.
he too light. Nah, because, the light skins, they really do got the vocals.
I don't know. You really hit it on the point.
Thank you, bro. So how you been?
I've been doing good. Missing our guys over here, KB and P.
Both of them, I guess they both was probably,
I think
they probably ate. They was probably eating together because they both got stomach issues.
They had the BGs.
Yeah, I think they was probably on a date. Probably at KB house.
Wait, they were on a date?
Yeah, at KB house.
Why you have to say, like, you couldn't just say you was over at their house?
I think they called it a date. But, homies can have dates.
You be at his house more than be here.
But I don't eat his food, though.
So do you call it a date when you go over there? You eat his food when you over there.
I eat his dad food.
Any type of food I know you grew up into.
I do. You definitely did blame me for having a chicken Alfredo in the fridge.
No. I'm restocking the snacks in the fridge. Joe, I'm just putting the drinks in the fridge. And I'm cleaning the stuff out. There's a box half full of chicken Alfredo. I know P's not leaving that in there. KB can't even eat cheese. And then Austin is the type of person that has like Chick-fil-A. He have a little thing of Popeyes. It's only you and Christian that would eat that chicken Alfredo.
You see what I eat every morning. I don't be sitting over there eating a bowl of chicken Alfredo.
And it's something very exquisite. It's not like some quick handheld stuff.
I just think I was very offended by your question.
Whatever it is, let's get it started. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We'll start off with Drop the Mic. A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing. You can't stop my drive. Toyota, let's go places. Today's Drop the Mic, presented by Toyota. What NBA terms/sayings are used too loosely?
3 and D. A lot of guys got that 3, but they ain't got that D. Some of them guys got that D, but they ain't got that 3.
That was one that was on the top of my mind.
I'm glad y'all start off the show that way because my stomach is actually starting to hurt. So there may be some parts of this where y'all gotta, we might have foreshadowed. Because somebody was running late, that gave me time to go get some Chick-fil-A that I probably shouldn't have gotten. And now we over here.
I appreciate that I'm running latex too, by the way.
I definitely appreciate it.
I think it's always good to give a heads up.
Yeah.
Because I would appreciate it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But one of them was ball don't lie. I think that's not even like a term or saying, it's like a slang. I know it's like tradition to say that, but like
shout out to Rasheed Wallace.
The ball lies a lot. You see it all the time. I think it is a cool saying, like if you talking shit to the other team, but realistically,
the ball do lie.
The ball do lie.
Yeah, I've seen that on multiple occasions. One that I was thinking about, and this is even like a really weird one that's kind of been on top of my mind, but like a team's window. I feel like windows are for like literally the number one seed, like a Celtics type team. Like they have a legit window where they can win multiple in a row. There's a lot of teams that say like we have a slight window. I just don't think that's.
What about your Lakers when they had LeBron? They weren't like the number one team, but LeBron
I think there's a window because you have LeBron, but like as a team in whole, I think we really just capitalize in the moment, and I think that's what a lot of things like teams really just do. Like. I think the reason why I'm trying to like push back against some of those stuff, except for the top teams, is because I feel like there's so much talent in the league now that your window is the same as about 7 to other 8 windows probably in like your team's round, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you saying like a team like Boston, OKC essentially probably had the same window.
They have a window probably for the next few years because they have young players on the team. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they can do it. But I think there's a lot of teams that like. Let me just look at the standings.
The Nuggets had a window because of the money that everybody was going to have to be paid.
Yeah.
Jokic, Gordon, Porter, KCP.
It's like a time type of thing.
So
yeah, a lot of it's financial, I feel like.
I think even yesterday when we did the linear show, the Spurs came up with like Kevin Durant, and I think KB was saying something like it will be good to get as much talent as you can while Wemby is on a rookie scale contract. I guess that's a part of the window. So I think it's just the different variations of the window. But I feel like you're saying a championship window is what's being used too much with a bunch of different teams.
Yeah. I just think it's too many windows and too much talent in the team, except for maybe those top teams. It's like, yeah, I can see them probably being here at the same place next year, maybe even the year after that, depending on, like, anything can really happen with these stars. But as long as they're there, they're probably going to be a contender.
Yeah, I think y'all did a good job of opening your window a little bit by getting Luka. Like, y'all window was closing. It was damn near shut.
Yeah.
But then y'all got Luka, and now it's like, oh, shit, let's open this window up a little bit more. Because now LeBron may extend with his playing time, and Luka's a top 3 player in the league when he's at full strength. So y'all did exactly what a lot of teams can't do, and it's very rare you see that.
I understand the sentiment of windows too, but I also think because of the way that the league is in this day and age versus when we were growing up, there is so much turnaround and stars are switching teams so much that windows might not exist. We've seen certain teams where it felt like they're going to have a long window and they never went back. Or
I
like
feel
the
like,
Brooklyn
especially
Nets.
with like
The
when
Brooklyn Nets,
big
the
threes
Bucks.
or anything like that. Because again, like you said, the turnaround, we might feel like our window is about 3 to 4 years, but I don't know. There's another generational talent or something like that coming into the league. So 2 years down the road, we might not even look the same.
Yeah.
Our conference might not even look the same.
Exactly.
So
it's nothing that you. And sometimes the situation is not even your fault. Like when the Bucks had won a championship, it could have looked like I can't remember exactly what all of us were saying or even the media was saying, but I'm sure it looked like the Bucks were going to have a nice little comfortable
Window.
few years of a window of being that best team. Little did they know they was going to have to trade they was going to need to trade Drew Holiday. He was going to eventually get to the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
And then Giannis unfortunately missed 2 first rounds with due to injury and couldn't play. So that's just something that you can't even predict. So like your windows essentially can just be closed just from unfortunate circumstances that you don't even see coming.
the Nets, when they had them all together, we didn't know that COVID was going to happen and the Kyrie situation, and then James Harden hamstring, and then he was going to request a trade after getting to the Nets. It's just so many different things that happen in today's game that I feel like you can't really prepare for. Felt like when Kawhi and Paul George went to the Clippers, they were for sure was going to have a window. The Raptors had a window. Who knew Kawhi was going to leave? I don't want to act like it was the most wildest thing, but Kawhi leaving after a championship wasn't the most common thing. So it's like, do windows even really exist? I mean, I get it. They definitely do,
I feel
but
like
at the
there's an
same
exception
time,
for the top teams. But again, I don't know. I think it should only be specific teams, really. I don't think every team just has a window because you have a chance.
now I think the Thunder have a window because they're winning and they're extremely young. So, that's why I could see windows. But at the same time, if something drastic happens, hypothetically speaking, let's just say who is in the West right now? Let's just say Kevin Durant goes to the Rockets, and all of a sudden they become some great team. There's a world where the Thunder are still good and everything. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical.
We might not look at them the same as just as a top dog out West if the Rockets were just somehow that team.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Kevin Durant go to the Rockets makes them better than the Thunder.
It's just things can change.
It's just
things literally
they change
can
so
change
rapidly. Like, boom, example. We can even dial back and we don't have to do a hypothetical. It's looking like the Thunder will be in control of the NBA and especially the Western Conference for the next 5 years. Well, all of a sudden, the Lakers just got Luka Doncic. Now, let's say the Lakers go into the offseason and round out those edges, and now the Lakers are this team that not only did the Thunder not know was coming, none of us in the media or the fans knew that the Lakers are going to. The landscape of the NBA changes so rapidly. Where, like, I feel like when we were in high school and Derrick Rose played for the Bulls, Bron was on the Heat, that was kind of it. I mean, Bron leaving and joining the Heat was a big deal. But there wasn't too much.
It wasn't too much player movement.
Yeah, it wasn't like Derrick
at least
Rose
for stars or whatever.
out of
We're not
nowhere.
getting
Derrick
traded
Rose
like
is
that. I don't
on
think
the
there
Lakers.
it wasn't as much of a rush on things.
Yeah.
And that was only not even close to 15 or like around 15 years ago. To go back to like 2010ish.
Yeah, like 15 years ago. But yeah, you just wasn't getting a young budding star like a Derrick Rose, youngest MVP, overnight just as on a new team, or even the lesser guy like a De'Aaron Fox in this day and age. Who was a De'Aaron Fox from that time?
Is that like a John Wall?
Yeah, John Wall wasn't
wasn't
getting,
just getting traded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of was different. I'm not saying it's for the worse or for the better. You know, you had moves, but I feel like our time back then was really free agency. LeBron is leaving to join. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the bigger trades we had was Melo, kind of forcing his way out of Denver. But yeah.
And even that felt like weird in the moment. Like it didn't feel like it was normal.
Well, that's because
like
he
that was
could
a
have
big
just waited.
thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have to, because him forcing himself to leave, essentially, they had to
No, I
trade
think
away
he's saying it
pieces.
just felt like it wasn't like a normal thing. Like,
Like
that was a
if
big
it happened in
deal.
today's age, I mean, Jimmy Butler's thing was even crazier than what happened with Melo, and it's even like we kind of shrugged that off. Like we was talking about Melo for a minute.
Yeah. That Melo shit was like breaking news. I felt like back then it was more free agency centric, and this is more like trading centric. Where like, yeah, we talking about 1 year. We're taking all of this as a 2024-25 season, and we got Cat traded. Jimmy Butler was traded from the Miami Heat, and I don't want to overdraw Jimmy Butler as a player because he wasn't having like some crazy year, but what he meant to the Heat and the success that they had just came off of, and the way that how ugly it got, crazy. Luka Doncic got traded. De'Aaron Fox, who was arguably the best Kings in the last, I don't know how many Kings player in the last. That's like 4 All-NBA level players that got moved, and I'm trying to make sure I ain't forgetting anything.
I mean,
Anthony Davis, because he was in the
Well,
deal.
he's in the Luka
He's in
trade.
the
So, yeah,
Luka
you
trade,
can throw
but
his
Anthony
name in
Davis
there.
is a big name.
Yeah, Anthony Davis is another
just get
All-NBA guy.
traded.
That's like 5 All-NBA guys.
I never like coming into the season. I would have never thought Anthony Davis was on the table.
Me either.
Yeah. I think player
Luka.
Yeah, I think player empowerment has went too far.
That's a great question, Darrick. His player empowerment went too far. In some degrees, yes. I think we all up for player empowerment. I think you would have to be just like some weird jackass to be like, players shouldn't have power.
Yeah.
I think every righteous fan wants a good balance. And I feel like at some points we had some good balance. But yeah, I do think it's starting to teeter over into a little bit too much of the player empowerment. And in previous years, it teetered over too much as the league and the owners.
Yeah.
And I think we got to dial back and try to figure out a way to get that balance. Because, yeah, and that was part of the reaction to some of the things that you be saying. Not to say that you're wrong on the Devin Booker front or the Giannis front or anybody else that you may say, man, maybe it's time for him to leave. I just, as a fan, push it back because I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a world where like the Bucks get embarrassed in the first round and that those talks reignite. I just hope as a fan that you're wrong. There's definitely a chance that Devin Booker wants to stay with the Suns initially, and then the first year or two, it gets really, really ugly and tough, and he's like, you know what, I got to do what's best. Everything is on the table these days. But as a fan, even with our job, I'm a fan to the core still. I just don't want every player to leave when there's any sort of traction or trouble in the air.
I'm with you to a certain degree. I think at a certain age, when guys no longer have that big window, like Zion requesting a trade right now, probably for me wouldn't make sense because he's 24 years old, 24, 25. But a guy like Giannis, Devin Booker, who's like 28, 29, going on 30. Giannis is over 30.
How old is Devin Booker?
I think Devin Booker's 28 or 29. One
Okay.
of them. For me, I think those time frames, I've already done enough.
28.
Yeah, and at 28 and 29 and 30, my prime essentially is dwindling out. So I kind of want to maximize this and do what's best for myself. But like a young dude, if for whatever the reason Zion was doing it, I'd be like, Zion could just sit through this. They got enough time to where he hasn't even reached his fullest potential. At least we would hope. So I think there's a certain age range for me in which I think it'll be appropriate to request a trade.
Now, let me ask you this, though. Do you still feel that same way if an organization and a franchise has done everything that you've asked them to do? That's my whole thing. If you're in a dysfunctional situation, like, for instance, and it's not to shit on the organization or anything like that, but the Wizards have kind of just been in this cycle of just losing for the last few years. The Hornets haven't never really got it together. It's been a while since the last time it was like Kemba Walker and Al Jefferson
they
or
made
something.
maybe the playoffs, and that was
I thought they had a playoff stint with LaMelo in like his second year.
He came close to.
Oh,
getting
he
to
was
the
close?
in like
Okay.
the play-in or something like that. They lost to the Pacers, like Malcolm
Okay.
Brogdon and Pacers or something. When you have like if LaMelo wanted to leave, and even at this point, it's like I wouldn't blame him, but I would also be like, bro, your ass hurt all the time too.
Yeah, exactly.
But when De'Aaron Fox wanted to leave, it wasn't that big of a deal because you're on a franchise. Like we'll just use De'Aaron Fox. He was on a franchise for the first, I don't know how many years of his career. They just weren't a good team. Not only are you not a good team, but the organization hasn't shown you that they can make proper moves. And it's just kind of dysfunctional. And then you finally get some success, but you realize with that success, you kind of capped off. It's only so much the Kings could do after making the playoffs. That was like the best that they could have done was make the playoffs and play the Warriors to 7 games. And unfortunately, you look around if you're De'Aaron Fox and his team, and you're like, how do we make another level? And we it doesn't look like we can.
Yeah.
That is where I'm like,
yeah,
he's done right by them and everything. Go ahead. That's
like a really good way to put it in terms of like, you just got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. Like, I think there's a little bit of, I don't want to say respect loss, but like players are really just know that it's a business nowadays. Like, if I'm not getting what I want, like, I don't have to act like I owe you, like I owe the franchise something or anything. Like, I have the right to request a trade or tell them what I want. It just gets to be a problem when you do that on your second team or your third team. It's just like the grass is not always greener on the other side, and that's when it comes down to like you just can't be flipping teams when it gets like a little rough.
Yeah,
like it's not even guaranteed that it's always going to be better on the other side.
Always these organizations are going to do what's best for them. They're never going to look at what's best for you. They're going to always put themselves first. So it's okay for a player to sometimes put themselves first because these organizations would do you dirty as hell sometimes just to maximize the asset. To them, you're sometimes just viewed as an asset, not even
sometimes, man. Yeah. Probably all the time, majority of the time. No, I agree. I think Mike Gray made one of the best points that you can always make in all of this too. Like if I was a part of a player's team or whatever, trying to make decisions, the grass ain't always greener. And that's my point with like somebody like Devin Booker. It's like when you have came to the Suns, they weren't that good, which is why they were able to get you. Well, that was coming off one of their stronger years. But when he was there, Devin Booker played for like 3 or 4 coaches in like a 5-year span.
Yeah.
They weren't that good. They had the #1 overall pick with Aiden, reached the finals with Chris Paul, went out, tried to get Kevin Durant, take it up another notch. It didn't work out. He is the man in Phoenix. Phoenix has not had a guy like him since like a Steve Nash. And he's maybe more popular than Steve Nash because he's literally homegrown.
In the social media. And
social media era. Even though Steve Nash won those 2 MVPs, Booker was the guy for them to go to the finals. And I just think I just think it's value in having something that's yours because then, like Mike said, potentially you go somewhere else and the grass ain't greener and you still not winning a quote-unquote championship that you made the move for. And I really look at your boy Dame.
Hey, that's the first thing that comes to mind because he literally had the quote when everybody was asking him, basically if he was going to ask for a trade was like, what I said, the grass isn't always greener, and it's just like you go over there and you're not the same man that you were for him in Portland.
And you're just not getting the exchange that you thought. I respect a player like Dame was like, you know what? Let me go and do some shit. It's going to be uncomfortable, but there's something on the other side of this that could be worth it. But then that reality is if you don't get it, and in this case, they're not only are they not getting it as of now, they haven't been close. And it's still only been 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I think everything needs at least 3 years, unless it just gets super, super ugly. But like the Bucks don't look like a team that's going to sniff the championship.
It don't.
And then it's like at that point he could have just kept his ass in his comfort world of just being in Portland and doing whatever he wanted to do and just chilling. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like if you do this and the Bucks won a championship, hey man, it all worked out. But there's a reality where you uproot yourself and leave. And I just feel like a guy like Devin Booker at 28, you still have a few years where even if they have to figure it out. Dame is a little different, a lot older than Devin Booker.
There's like a false reality that if you ask out or go to another team that it's, I guess, like a little bit easier than what it was. You might have a better like front office, but you still gotta like bust your ass and like you still like all that hard work that you probably could have done and not like that fight you could have done on your original team. You still gonna have to bring that to the new team.
Yeah,
I think
it's just no change.
Pretty impressive that guys can now essentially force their way to a team. Like Dame tried to do that, but Cronin said, "I don't want to do business with the Heat. Like I refuse to work with them." And so
I don't know why more GMs don't do that.
Yeah.
When we be doing our trade things and like doing our we mock up trades, in the back of my head, I always think about like, I don't want to send this dude to a dude in my division. I don't want to put this dude in my conference and go against him 4 times a year. That's always in the back of my head. Yeah. I don't want to send him to my conference.
That's why I said, like, in 2010, Derrick Rose, number one, was not getting traded, and he damn sure wasn't getting traded to a Pacers. Yeah, let's trade Derrick Rose to the Pacers or the Pistons. Yeah, all right. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, those owners and GMs, they not with that.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy that players kind of, that's where the empowerment crosses over. Where it's like, if you want to get traded, by all means, as a player, you can request a trade and ask to be out. But like when a player is then saying, I'm only playing here, and kind of, now it's like, okay,
that's essentially what Jimmy Butler did.
Yeah, it's kind of spilling over too far, brother. Like you can't have every single thing.
Your agent calling teams saying, do not try to trade for him.
And those teams make sense. Yeah. Like the Grizzlies. That would have been a nice little fit.
At this point, too, it's just like, I feel like it's known that if you kind of cause that little disgruntlement or you show them, teams are probably going to trade you just because, like, why would I keep that in my locker room at this point? There's no sense of working it over.
That's the whole thing with Jimmy Butler. He's one of those guys that's willing to take it to that level. There was other guys who went out and do things that don't necessarily want to be looked at as that villain by a franchise or a community.
Him and James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden don't have a problem saying, like, Daryl Morey is a liar.
He don't have a problem having the bottle girls walk through the club with a sign that says Daryl Morey is a liar.
Crazy. Every player is not willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Every player don't want to have to. My other thing before we wrap up on this topic that I'll put out there for y'all is, like, the other thing I have a tough time with this stuff is this. And I know social media is very minuscule to all of this, but it seems like some of it plays a part to players. Social media, they don't ignore it. It's a part of what they see and what they hear. I can't wrap my mind around this. Players, like, we'll use Giannis. Giannis would hypothetically request a trade from the Bucks because he wants to do what?
Win a championship.
So he's going to leave the Bucks, and that means if he wants to win, he has to then go to a team in position to win. You don't lead the Bucks to go to the Bulls.
No.
Right? You lead the Bucks to go to the Warriors, to the Rockets or whatever, the Nets, because they can then have all of this money to get you a second and third star. But it's like, at what cost is it worth it? Because then you'll win, but then everybody's going to say it don't hit the same because you left. So at that point, ain't it just more better to just thug it out and try to get it out the mud? Just like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant won with the Warriors, and I know general people are going to say it don't matter what nobody's saying. He still got them, which is true. But we'll be lying to ourselves if we say that those championships just don't hit the same as if he would have got it with the Thunder or if he would have got one with the Nets or whatever.
So would you say the same for LeBron? I think the Cleveland one was epic.
That's his best one.
Like, it was the best one. Also, he came back from 3-1. But also, I think the Heat ones was still very impressive. The Laker one, I thought, was still very impressive. So, like, the Giannis one may be hitting a little different just because it seemed like he was.
How would you rank LeBron's?
LeBron's, like, on significance of the rings. Cleveland, obviously, is number one. The 2 Heat ones, and then the Laker one.
How would you?
I would probably go the same way, but just instead of like the 2 Heat ones, I think the second one was better than the first one.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah, because the first one, they kind of just dog walked the Thunder.
Yeah. The second one against the
Spurs?
Yeah, the Spurs.
Yeah, it was, especially with the Ray Allen shot too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm putting the Lakers one over the Heat ones.
Because Ray Allen saved it.
It just felt like, again, it's kind of like you went over there and joined. The Lakers, he did go over there, but it's not like he won shit there.
He wasn't joining nothing.
Yeah, he wasn't joining nothing. He just went to Hollywood, but he wasn't joining shit. And that's why I would say, I guess, the parallels could be if, like, Giannis went to the Nets and it ain't nothing there but cap space and you just make people come to you. But, like, if Giannis went to the Warriors I don't think it would hit the same as if when he won with the Bucks.
I think LeBron also.
It still counts. Don't get me wrong, but
I think LeBron and them already probably knew Anthony Davis probably already coming to the Lakers.
Oh no. There's a strategic plan behind it of saying that they're going to have cap space. They got young talent we can trade, and Anthony Davis. We could hope that we can get Anthony Davis or remember Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. They knew that they were going to go into a place that could attract other people with them. But essentially, that's all a chance.
Yeah.
You can go there and the Pelicans could play better or say we don't want to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. And then now what? So, but that's my whole thing. It's kind of like, man, you kind of better off just kind of being a legend in your spot and trying to thug it out.
I feel that.
Because you run and everybody going to say that that's what you did. You ran. It don't hit the same. You ran. You went over there. You had the team up. So it's like at that point, I might as well just thug it out, be a legend here. All-time leading scorer. Devin Booker, like the all-time leading scorer with the Suns. He's not even 30 yet.
And
that's
honestly,
actually so crazy.
So so much value in there, bro.
It's so much value.
It's so much value. And I think the biggest, I guess, pushback it would be in terms of like you should probably just stay there is just like there's no guarantee that you win in no championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like you probably damn near got a little bit better odds at another team. The only way I can see is like how D-Mel says when you're getting up there in age, you just want to maximize yourself, especially if you really want to win. But even then, like, I don't know. Staying on the same team just sounds raw, bro.
Our favorite player thugged it out, and it worked for him. Kobe went from championships every single year with Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Every single year. They three-peated. Like, that's Michael Jordan. Like, that's crazy shit. They three-peated. They had the league on lock. They went 16-1. In the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Iverson step over.
Yeah.
The one game. That's running through the league. Mm-hmm. Like that's crazy
and
shit.
it took a 50-point game from Iverson for them to lose.
16-1. We just ran through the playoffs. Then they lost to the Pistons in the NBA Finals. Then you trade Shaq, and now you have some quote-unquote down years. And then Kobe was disgruntled for a little bit too. Kobe was trying to
get to
go
Chicago.
to the Bulls or the Clippers.
Right.
But ultimately, he thugged it out. And when he tells the story, he says that there was a tactic to put pressure on the front office to then make moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely feel like if he could have got to Chicago, he would. And as a kid, I was praying for that ball. My gosh, I was praying for that.
Well, it wasn't like he pulled out of the deal. The Bulls didn't want to trade Joakim Noah and Luol Deng. And
Ben Gordon.
They said you got to choose. And essentially, that's kind of I still don't understand how Chicago.
I used to read that in the newspaper about like the discussions. And I used to be like, man, send whoever they want.
Get them whatever.
I want to see Kobe, and I want to be able to drive up 25 minutes and go see my favorite player.
So is that I wonder, could that have ruined Chicago being a free agency destination? Because like if you look at the track record, Kobe wanted to come here, then LeBron and Wade wanted to come here and form a big three. The Bulls front office and the ownership didn't make the proper moves in order to make any of those happen. So now you essentially kind of just ruined your chance of attracting two big generational talents to your city. So now it seems like Chicago hasn't really been a free agency destination for a while now.
I think Chicago hasn't been a free agency destination because they haven't been good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When those guys was there, or when those guys was trying to come here, Kobe is obsessed with Michael Jordan. So that's his own parallel. But Bron Wade, I think they had interest because they knew a young Derrick Rose was here. Melo, when he was a free agent at that time, because Derrick Rose was here. Now I feel like there's just no reason to come here because they haven't been that good. But I feel like if the Bulls get good again, it's going to be a place. We also got DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. They ain't LeBron, but they ain't shit to sniff over.
Well, Zach LaVine was a trade, and wasn't DeMar DeRozan also a trade?
But he also said he also stayed here.
He did stay here for 8. It's crazy.
I mean, one of those times he did have to go to Sacramento to get his bag, which I hate when they make players do that.
They made Jimmy Butler do the same thing.
Yeah, I hate that.
I forgot who actually gave Jimmy that money, but the Bulls matched it.
I don't remember that either. I don't know. You might have to look that one up. I don't know about that one.
Well, unless they just gave him the $90 million.
Yeah, I don't remember Jimmy having to get his shit matched. I could be wrong though. But yeah, that was interesting nonetheless.
I just couldn't imagine none of these like for lifers that at least we've seen or we know throughout history just like they had a down year and they were just like, I need to get out of here.
I think Jokic.
Like imagine Tim Duncan for some reason asked out and he just never got that last championship or something.
I think Jokic gonna be one of them dudes that sit through anything. I think Jokic loves Denver, and I think he's gonna be one of those dudes that forever just stay there.
I do too. I just can't even think of a package that you would give up for him. But yeah, I just think his value. I think Kobe did a good job of just kind of thugging it through, and then once he was able to get there, they won the 2 championships, and it made everything all worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he just declined the first one, and they okay.
Shout out to Jimmy Butler, though. Shout out to Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah.
Let's get into the main thing of the show, man.
Let's do it.
What you got? It's your thing.
I wanted to do best NBA moments of the season. I just feel like it's one of the usual things you got to do like every year. Just kind of refresh your memory on what's all been going on.
I definitely needed this because I was thinking of my own memories, and I felt like I just was drawing blanks. So I'm like, I cannot wait to see what these guys have to kind of liven up my brain a little bit.
I kind of went with some like favorite moments. They're not all like on court stuff, but one of the on court things that I did have was solo RJ Barrett at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
I thought he went on a stretch that was he didn't turn himself into a must watch, and he turned the Raptors into a must watch because it was him with no Scotty Barnes or no Quickly. And I thought he did a good job of just running the show. I thought we saw him playmaking at a high level. He was scoring the ball. He was hitting big shots down the stretch of games. And he was also so confident that he was so thirsty to have his moment that he was taking some crazy shots for game winners. And he definitely had more time to operate and get better looks. But I honestly thought that little stretch of him by himself was extremely entertaining.
Yeah.
It was. It's kind of crazy because I think I saw somewhere that they said they may like dangle him in the offseason.
Yeah, which I'm not against. I think once you go get Brandon Ingram, you get Quickly, and now you have Scotty. There's like an overlapping of similar talents there. Somebody has to be the odd man out, and you just traded for B.I., so it's not him. Scotty's not going nowhere.
They extended B.I. too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So like, it's someone unfortunate has to be an odd man out, and I think he can still go wherever he goes and thrive. And I think even if he's on this team next year, I think he can still find a way to fit in.
I kind of like the upside with this team. I can't wait to see what they look like. Everybody's talking about the bounce back seasons for this team and that team. I kind of like the Pelicans potentially if they can be healthy. But on the Eastern Conference side, the Raptors kind of shape up nice depending on what the pick is that they get. But to be able to come back next year with Barnes, Ingram, Quickly, Grady Dick look good this year. And if they get a decent enough pick, like if they can get Maluach from Duke, oh man, that would be like a good pickup for them in the draft, I think, personally.
The one that I had went with was it's gonna seem weird, but like Bronny's first game.
Oh, the first
with the Griffies there and everything.
Yeah. The reason why I kind of got that one up there.
Ain't that the game Stephen A. said he was at?
It might be.
Yeah, I was at that game.
It's not even really about the game.
Wasn't it the opening night too, right?
Yeah.
It was. We won that game too. It wasn't even really about him playing. It was about really the moment that I felt like we've been kind of waiting on for a long ass time. Like, this was years ago where LeBron said like he wanted to play into his son, and it sounded like
crazy. Yeah.
It legit sounded crazy and far fetched, but like we actually got to witness it, and it was amazing. Like I felt the butterflies or whatever. Like it felt like a surreal. It felt like a surreal moment. Bro, it was a surreal
I didn't have
moment.
Butterflies.
I didn't have
a surreal
butterflies,
moment.
but it was dope.
It was a cool moment.
And I felt like we kind of just like went over there and
What
it
did
kind of
y'all
passed
play
by.
again?
We played.
I'm
I
only
don't
asking because he
remember.
said he remembered them winning.
I
Well,
just know
y'all
we
had
won
to
that
win if
game
he got
because I
in.
remember I remember it was part of the conversation is like it was a good thing that we got the win because it would have been like a distraction if he just played or whatever.
Okay.
But let me go double check.
One of my moments while you check for that.
It was against the Timberwolves.
Okay.
Yes, it was. That's crazy that it feel like I remember that night, but it's a long time ago
Bro,
now.
you know what's crazy? I felt that way too. Because like when Giannis had said that they won the in-season tournament, I was like, damn. That feels so far away.
Yes.
I forgot
they did.
Yeah, I forgot y'all
I
won
did
the
too.
in-season
I did too. But then I remember AJ Johnson looking on was on the bench smiling because
Oh,
he
he
ain't
get
do
that check.
nothing, but he
Yeah.
getting that check.
So staying on the theme of opening night, I'm not gonna lie. I probably will never forget this for the rest of my life. the Celtics popping my Knicks.
I thought about putting that on there. That was
bro, for them to start the season off that way, shooting that many threes, set the record and everything. And I'll never forget because the Knicks didn't play bad. I remember walking away from that as a Knicks fan, everybody trying to clown us, and I'm like, bro, we ain't. They just did something
you know what I remember about that game too, because they were just piled on because the Celtics were doing so good, but McHale, I think that was McHale's first debut.
Yes.
And he was shooting weird, and everybody's talking about his jump shot, and it just looked like the Knicks was gonna have a long season after that.
And then he somehow changed his shot midway through the game.
I mean, his shooting
was that the game?
Yeah.
In the second half, he started making them.
He started making them.
That was a whole that's how long the season been. That was a real conversation about his jump shot and did we get finesse and everything like that. And since the calendar turned, I don't feel like you've heard anybody say anything about McHale's shot being broken or anything. But that was a real conversation.
Him and OG has been doing their thing for y'all since
OG has
Brunson.
been really, really, really.
Yeah,
really
I didn't. OG having this offensive leap since Jalen Brunson is when I didn't know he really had this in his bag.
Yeah, he's been killing, man. He's been killing.
Well, another thing that I got was the Cavs and the Thunder both being on significant double-digit in the teen win streaks at the same time, and them eventually meeting and eventually having a game essentially for the battle of the streaks. And I thought that was crazy because you don't really see that from opposing.
That was the game of their matchups that wasn't even that good, right? Was that one of the blowout?
No. This was the game that was actually decent.
Okay.
This is the one that the Cavs
I think
won.
they had 3 games.
This was the first
one was
game
like
of
a
the
blowout.
two?
Huh?
Was this the first game of the two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they only play 2? Okay.
Yeah.
So one was a blowout or no?
Yeah, the second one was a blowout. That's the one that didn't have
they didn't have the bigs.
Yeah, no bigs.
And they still blew Cleveland out, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the first one was actually a really good game. And I think that's kind of
Ty Jerome was killing in this game. Yeah, I remember this game.
No, that was actually one of the – you don't really see that from opposing conferences where the 2 number 1 seeds are on crazy streaks and eventually meet.
Not to cut you off, we got the discipline for Pistons Timberwolves scuffle from Shams.
Oh, is there some suspensions, I'm guessing?
A lot.
Damn.
Isaiah Stewart 2 games, Dante DiVincenzo a game, Ron Holland a game, Nas Reed a game, and Marcus Sasser a game.
Damn.
So 5 suspensions.
Okay. None of the coaches?
They didn't say.
Okay. That makes sense.
The coaches were definitely in that scuffle, though.
That's actually
They was definitely in that scuffle.
It's kind of crazy that the coaches got it. Usually they just the fact that they was actually getting ejected from being involved in a scuffle is hilarious.
Another moment that I got was Matt McClung at the dunk contest. I just feel like the dunk contest is probably one of the more boring areas of the All-Star weekend, but he has been putting on a show.
Yeah, no.
He's been putting on a show and rejuvenating it a little bit.
No, I think he knows that too, and that's kind of why he had his comments at the end where he said, if they want me here bad enough, they'll have me here again. That's essentially sending a message that
he need that bag.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to pay me now because I've been carrying this shit on my back for the past 3 years. So if y'all really want me here, y'all to make sure I'm here.
It's crazy because I would have said that this year.
Oh yeah,
I would have been like, y'all, yeah.
But you know what? I can't stand the hate comments that be coming with that because people were giving him backlash, I guess, for I don't even know. Not
he's
being
only a dunker or whatever.
Not even saying that. He's saying this. He made more career earnings in the dunk contest than he has his whole NBA career. It's just bro, leave him alone. Let him do what he want to do.
They also got to look at it from the fact that the dunk contest is essentially supposed to be the most attractive thing at All-Star Weekend. It's supposed to be the biggest event.
That's
that we
the
are
shit that's supposed to
to
make outside of the game.
Yeah.
When we go to San Francisco and you got somebody driving there from Vegas, their drive is supposed to be worth it. Or if somebody's flying from Chicago to watch All-Star, they're essentially driving for the game and the dunk contest.
And
so
Mac McClung is essentially the life of that.
Yeah.
Because can't nobody go toe-to-toe with him in a dunk contest. He's dunking over a Kia. So he feels like I'm being slighted probably financially. Y'all really going to have to pay me because this is your main attraction of the whole weekend. Yeah. And I'm the star of it. So
just innovative as hell, man. And I understand people are saying that he can actually have time to practice these dunks because if I'm an NBA player, I don't want to mess up getting hurt trying to do this. But hey, it's all about entertainment and excitement, and he's bringing that to All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, and also a lot of these dudes they be dunking for fun anyway. They still do it.
It killed me when people go to the dunk contest. Like, I'm just gonna say a name, but like Jaylen Brown, where you just do like the basic ass dunks. It's like, why even sign up?
Yeah, why sign up? Yeah, I agree.
Up?
Why sign up? A free bag, huh?
Another thing I had from All-Star Weekend, I actually had another moment, was Chris Paul and Wemby getting DQ'd in the skills challenge.
Chris Paul trying to be big brain.
They really, they was really overthinking it, and they made it look so. I think that it just made it all look so goofy and unserious.
Bro, that shit took out some of the integrity in the game.
Yeah,
man. That's what I think about when you talk about somebody drove from Las Vegas to San Francisco
or they
to
flew
see
from
that.
Europe to come see this for the first time. They done saved up for a year.
And they half-assed in the game trying to play it the
and
wrong
now
way.
you get here, now they just throwing all the balls everywhere. You would think you like in a simulation, you would think there's no way this is real.
When did somebody really wanted to see Wemby in that skills challenge and he cheated them out there?
Yes. Somebody came
Wemby.
from France just to watch him in the skills challenge.
That's y'all face?
I guess.
And I've watched the skill challenge a lot. I've never seen no one get disqualified.
I haven't either. Nobody's cared.
You know
that
what
much
makes it so lame too?
to be big brain.
I think Chris Paul read he was trying to read the rules and try to manipulate it. And so the fact that you did all that shit to still get disqualified is crazy.
Big brain, man.
They said you might have tried.
It ain't even that deep, Chris.
Yeah. Y'all ass still getting disqualified.
One of my other memories is I think y'all are like this too. Lonzo Ball.
Well, I wanted to
from him to come back.
I wanted to put him on
from
my
where
list.
he came from, surgeries, and I remember that first game. He hit that first three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I will say when he did come back, his movement he looked good.
yes.
So I was like, whoa, he actually looks like solid movement wise, and he was dunking eventually in the games. He was catching lobs, so he looked comfortable being Lonzo. Like the IQ was still so crazy.
On some real stuff, I think Lonzo, not that he had that type of career, but his archetype of player is probably one of the most winning players that you can find out there.
I don't think there's a lot of teams would love to have a Lonzo Ball.
Plus defender.
Like
plus
if you could go into a
playmaker.
lab and make a player like on 2K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of I mean,
he's just a winning player.
Obviously, people were going to the lab to make Wembies.
Right.
But from a role player perspective, yeah, to be able to have a
He's
six,
he likes Salt. You know what I'm saying?
go with
Salt,
everything.
Salt by itself, how are you not just super attracted to Salt by itself?
I hate it.
But when it's mixed in with other
some
ingredients
seasonings?
and it brings everything
And
out,
it elevates the other seasonings. Yes.
he does that. He
Salt
likes
is
salt.
a flavor enhancer, and I think Lonzo is a NBA game enhancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a great play.
Two-way, 40% three-point shooter, elite playmaker, rebound very well for his position.
Only thing he doesn't do is
IQ.
get to the basket.
Yeah, you can't even say just plus defender because he could literally guard almost half the court sometimes. The way he's kind of flying around and rotating, defensive IQ is kind of off the
And he can
charts.
guard 1 through 4 comfortably.
One of my first viral clips is him against the Orlando Magic.
I know exactly what clip
And
you're
he
talking
guarded
about.
everybody at least once. Everybody who drove, he sent them off here and he rotated there, and then that dude called it and tagged him. Nope, kicked it out there. Yeah, shout out to Lonzo Ball, man. Shout out to Lonzo Ball.
It's such a different player from when how he's kind of playing as a rookie. Especially you remember there's he's got to take the shots, and they play as the Suns. It takes 30 shots.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he evolved this game kind of quickly too. He didn't try to stay in that.
My goodness, man.
That young mode of Lonzo.
It is so crazy.
He transitioned to being the version he is now very quickly.
Seeing what Lonzo is today is just crazy, man. Seeing what they all are, but Lonzo, we were really in our early. I feel like we kind of ushered in with Lonzo. When he was a rookie, we were still in the early phase of our podcast and careers. And to think about the skinny kid, he started in with the fro, the little curly fro, whatever. And they had the crazy game against Pat Bev, and then the Suns eventually cut his hair, had the low cut, plain as hell with the little knee sleeve, lit ass T-shirt, bogus ass triple B's. And then now Alonzo tatted up like he got VC. Got the knee sleeves, the shirt. Got the Kobe CB hooping in, no more triple Bs. It's just crazy to see the player he's morphed into. This is a dude that he said should go to the G League. Like, seriously. You serious? I know we joke about that. You seriously said he should go to the G League because he couldn't make the shot. And now this dude is morphed into like a 40% three-point shooter.
I had a different mindset back then.
No,
I don't know what my mindset was.
Fuck that. You said that shit.
I'm not. I'm standing on it.
But we don't want right. So don't tell us about no different mindset. Yeah, you just said you standing on it or you stood on it.
Oh, I stood on it.
Okay.
I'm no longer standing on it.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm
you
off
sitting
of it.
on it now.
No, I'm off of it.
I'll throw out another one.
My man's man.
Ja Morant had came out one week and said that he was not dunking the ball anymore.
Right.
And then like a few days later, he did like a baseline reverse double clutch on Kristaps Porzingis, which is so crazy because it made sense in the moment when he's just like, I'm not going to try to like do all that stuff anymore because I want to be healthy. I want to preserve my body or stuff like that. But
I thought that also came from part of him playing with Derrick Rose a little bit because Derrick Rose eventually had stopped dunking and stuff. I thought that was maybe some words of wisdom Derrick Rose gave him.
Yeah. It was just like, no way he said that. And then a week later, it's like, oh, he's lying. Like, he's
still
not
dunking.
Gonna, he's
still
going
dunking to this day. So.
Who did Anthony Edwards say? Oh, okay, that's who it was. I remember when Anthony Edwards, because I think that baseline dunk with double clutch was against the Celtics, which made me think of Porzingis. And I remember when Anthony Edwards was like, ain't nobody scared of Rudy. I'd go at Rudy any time. But that Porzingis dude, I ain't going at Porzingis. And now Ant and Rudy are teammates. I ain't scared of Rudy. I'm scared of Porzingis, though.
And that was so random, too. I had never heard no one say that they was scared or intimidated by Porzingis at the rim.
Yeah. And he probably just was so ready to not give credit to Rudy that he said, who else be shot blocking? Yeah, you know what? I ain't giving him no credit, but this other Porzingis, yeah.
Because he could have easily went Anthony Davis.
Yeah, true. Maybe he was keeping it real. Maybe Porzingis to him is just like, damn, I can never catch this dude. Everybody got their guy.
Everybody got their guy that apparently is that could be like a tough matchup. Maybe Porzingis is just.
Am I thinking about it wrong? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? When it was like the post game or whatever after Timberwolves played the Rockets. I want to say that somebody asked him about like Jalen Green or somebody on the opposing team, and he's like, I don't know about him. But what's the dude? What's the big tall white dude name? He talking about Sengun or whatever.
Yeah.
He be hooping. So
Who said that?
That was Anthony Edwards.
He did say that. Yeah.
What's the buddy name?
Another incredible memory for me. I don't know. I don't want to call this incredible, but do y'all remember in November?
A long time ago.
You remember November?
A little bit.
The Wizards didn't get a win in it.
Oh,
No win November.
Yeah.
That is actually insane when you sit and think about it.
They did go through a whole.
I be thinking about how the playing rights be like. Imagine your 10-game losing streak. You know you about to lose that next one too.
What you think they do when they playing? Do you think they in there like how
They
y'all
probably
used, how
just
y'all used to be?
chilling.
The B team had to be quiet when A lost, or do you think they be in there chilling?
They be in there chilling.
I
they
think
don't
they
be
be in there
caring.
chilling, too.
They don't be caring.
Yeah.
They might have, or they got some vets in there now. Marcus Smart, like, hey, don't nobody put no fucking headphones on. We just lost by 30. Jordan Poole, like, I don't know why y'all trade for his head. Like,
Chris Middleton mad as hell taking out his headphones because he just trying to chill.
But yeah, no win November. They probably was cool. The Kuzma was their leader. They vet. They probably just on that mode chilling. Now they got Marcus Smart, Middleton. Yeah, they getting their ass in line. Malcolm Brogdon. Hell yeah. So yeah, now that's why they ain't had no more winless months. Because you can't with Marcus Smart on the team putting Jordan Poole in the headlock.
Jordan Poole. Shout out to Jordan Poole. He just broke the record for most threes for a Wizard.
Who had the record before?
Bradley Beal.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Jordan. Which is kind of crazy.
What was
Jordan,
the number?
I think it was like 1,000 or something like that.
Oh, you talking about total? I thought you meant like in.
Oh no, I think it was actually in a season. Maybe. No, he didn't make 1,000.
I was gonna say.
Let me
bro,
see.
Steph is the top, and that's like 400 plus.
Let me just confirm with. So yeah, Jordan Poole is now the Wizards' single season record holder for 3-pointers made at 224. My bad.
Bro, I feel like that shit happens every year. Where it's like,
Yes.
D'Angelo Russell did it last year with the Lakers, where he was like our top.
And that sounded crazy.
It does. It really does. That's just how many threes people are taking that anybody could really take them.
I believe Steph's record is going to get broken one day. It will not. We need to say this now. When somebody breaks Steph's record, it will not mean that they are a better three-point shooter than them. I'm not having that conversation 15 years from now.
Yeah.
Because when you look at I think they say like Jason Tatum at his age
is on pace.
Has made more threes than Curry did at his age.
Because Steph Curry had the ankle injuries.
Yeah. And because they didn't shoot as many threes. So if that's the case, then I guess if Jason Tatum continues to be the type of player he is, I guess potentially he would be close to him if it just happens, if it stays on the same type of track.
Because like even LeBron's top 10, I don't think we ever look at LeBron and say 3-point shooting is one of his expertise. He's just been in the league for so long. Yeah, he's been in the league for so long. He essentially is going to be top 10 in probably all of the statistical categories.
But if you got these star players like Tatum taking 10 threes a game, Anthony Edwards taking all the threes he takes a game, if that starts to become a norm, then by volume, people are going to get to where Steph is just because Steph, the first few years of his career, wasn't in a volume league of threes. But that won't mean that somebody's as good or better of a shooter than Steph. We just have to put that out there now. Because
you're going to have to do some crazy stuff for me to be able to look at you and say you're a better shooter than Steph Curry.
Because, you do have that, 4 to 5 year window or whatever before he really starts popping off. But he's averaging, he's hitting 5 to almost 6 threes a game. And this is every year. So it's you still got to be tough as hell to even get close to that shit. It don't matter.
You do. But it's just crazy that, a guy can come in and average 11 threes a game.
He won unanimous MVP from being a 3-point shooter. You just he's more than that, but his specialty is 3-point shooting.
No, yeah, and he's the first player ever
MVP
to dominate as a perimeter player. Everybody else who dominated was a 2-point.
I think he's also got just even if he wasn't Steph Curry, I feel like he would have a iconic type jump shot just because of how fast the damn releases. He can get it off I think they actually did. It might have been Ray Allen, but they were timing jump shots, and it's 0.25, 0.3. It's so quick that it's just it's hard to replicate that type of speed and be that accurate as a shooter.
And also,
it just speaks about how much talent you have.
And he's somebody who's doing it off the catch and off the dribble.
From the range.
From the range that he's doing it at, too. There's no flaw with his shooting. Sometimes dudes, we see them and they can't do it off the dribble. Or you see a vice versa where they can't really do it off the catch. They have to have the ball in their hand and they got to get that rhythm going a little bit. Steph is no flaw with the way he shoots the ball. And also, I think the movement without the ball is also a thing that gets talked about. Can't
believe we interviewed him.
Yeah, that's
even if it was a fake ass interview.
It was, but we made.
I don't know. Just talking to them just felt crazy.
It was crazy, and then he looked like, "Where y'all at?
Yeah,
y'all in Studio J."
But no, that's a good point, D-Mills, with the movement. Not only is he just straight up shooting the ball one of the best, but he has the attributes, the ball handling, the movement,
creative player shit.
Creative player.
You would create your guy to be a crazy shooter who could also dribble, and then somebody come in and be like, "Man, you being unrealistic. You can't have that much shooting and dribbling."
Remember, they had to put a badge in for him in 2K with the limitless range.
Limitless range.
Yes.
His shot is so fast that I can't play with him in 2K.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I tried it out and they were just too fast.
I had him on my team once, and it was like, how do y'all do this shot?
Last year he was OP.
Yeah,
I ran a league with him last year. I swept the league.
That's where my kind of quote came from.
Oh yeah, you can't give somebody with stick skills a Steph Curry.
Because I played you, and it was just it was unfair.
Yeah, he was going nuts. And Ben Simmons was my big. Yeah, we was crazy.
Last thing I got is Jimmy Butler dyeing his hair orange after the report came out that he wanted to go to the Suns.
See what I'm saying? What other player is trying to request a trade and doing all of this?
And then and then he came out and said that there was no correlation to his hair to him wanting to play for the Suns. It's the ultimate troll thing because he also and I also think he wore Suns related shoes too.
Yeah,
and it's come on now.
And it's so funny because it's that's the only team I'm interested in, but that's also the reports were saying that they were the only team interested in giving him a extension,
which is why he didn't want to go to Memphis because
Yeah.
he knew that financially they wouldn't be able to, especially because they were going to extend Jaren Jackson. So it all made sense, and I love the fact that Bradley Beal was willing to mess all this shit up Bradley Beal said, "Nah, I'm good."
What a guy.
Which is still so crazy to me.
I think I would love to hear the full story of that.
If this podcast was trying to trade you, would you be like, nope, staying here?
Nah.
Why would you want to stay where you're not wanted?
He would say.
I wouldn't stay where I'm not wanted. You always gotta feel wanted, which is what
agree.
Jimmy Butler said.
I agree.
Because apparently he didn't feel wanted by the Miami Heat because they didn't want to pay him $100 million.
If the podcast tried to trade you, you'd be like, nah, I'm staying.
No, I'm leaving.
You leaving? You gone? I think I'm going too, man.
Ain't no feeling like you somewhere you just don't want.
My boy walking in every day with a smile too.
Yeah. And he happy he ain't got that no trade clause.
He say, what up, man? D-Book, KD. What we on? Another moment I had was NBA Christmas Day. Do y'all remember how poppin' NBA Christmas Day was?
Refresh my memory. It feels so long ago.
Well, that's when Vic played against my Knicks.
Oh yeah.
The Los Angeles Lakers against
game.
the Warriors.
Oh yeah, and Steph and LeBron. Yeah, Steph and LeBron had a crazy night.
You had
and it made
Philly and Boston.
Yep.
And then you had Denver and Phoenix.
Was Denver and Phoenix a good game?
I thought so.
But I remember like
Minnesota and Dallas.
I remember Warriors, Lakers, and then that's really the most one. What was the first game you said again?
The Knicks and
the
Vic.
Knicks.
Vic was going fucking nuts.
That's the first.
It was
two
a
games
crazy way to start the day.
I remember the most.
Yeah, that Christmas Day was stacked. That was when Vic essentially locked himself as a Christmas Day guarantee.
That's exactly what we were saying.
Yeah, he's essentially guaranteed Christmas Day games for the next 10 plus years, as long as he's healthy.
I enjoyed that Christmas Day though.
No, yeah, Christmas Day was good. I think Christmas Day is always fun, just because it's always good. It's really good games. It's just good vibes. And you just get to sit back. And also now is football games are still on Christmas too.
Oh,
so you still get to watch those.
Yes.
And LeBron was talking about we on Christmas Day. And then,
I forgot the NFL did Christmas Day this year.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't watch a second of that bullshit.
It's because they increased the season, so they got to find a way to put games in. So,
did y'all watch the football shit?
Oh yeah, Beyonce did perform with the Ravens.
That what the hell I got to do with me?
Christmas is for basketball.
I think I probably did. I don't remember. I barely remember watching those Christmas Day games.
So yeah, the Knicks beat the Spurs 117 and 114. Timberwolves beat the Dallas Mavericks 105-99. Sixers beat the Celtics 118 and 114.
Yeah, and they also that Dallas game. That's where Luka got hurt, and that's why he was out for over a month.
Oh shit, you're right. Lakers beat Golden State 115 and 113.
And that game was crazy as hell.
And then the Suns beat the Nuggets 110 to 100.
Okay.
I gotta refresh my memory with the Sixers Celtics game, boy. 118, 114. Paul George 12, Embiid 27. Oh, Caleb Martin had 23. That's when we like, damn. Caleb Martin see the Celtics and just decide he gonna go fucking crazy.
I forgot Joel played on Christmas. I did not think he played.
But I don't feel like he played it the whole
Porzingis
season.
played in this game. I think he got hurt.
Wow. So everybody just played. Everybody showed up for Christmas.
Tatum 32, 15, and 4.
Damn. I want to see how many games did Joel play this season, like total.
I think it's like 13, 14.
I'm pretty sure it is 13. He played
31,
he played
10,
19.
and 4. Reeves had a triple-double. It's crazy seeing these names, knowing that they don't play for the Lakers. Anthony Davis got hurt this game. He only played 7 minutes.
That's funny that Luka and Anthony Davis got hurt that day.
Oh, damn. And they both got damn, what the hell? That's actually crazy.
Steph had 38.
Yeah, no, Steph was on. Steph was on.
I remember Steph on Christmas Day. I just remember they couldn't pull it out. Pause.
You crazy.
Speaking of Steph, though, he was on my list, though. I do got, when he dropped 56 against the Magic, that was just one of the nights where he literally could have missed.
Yeah.
But I remember the reporter.
McHale had 41 on Christmas. Yeah,
he did.
Wemby had 42, 18, 4, and 4 blocks.
Damn.
You know, McHale was doing his thing, but like
Sohan had 21 and 9. I'm starting to remember this game vividly.
Yeah, Wemby's performance was just out.
I don't remember McHale having 41.
No,
I definitely remember
was.
Wemby's performance.
It was so crazy because like Wemby was just so damn good that it overlooked Mikhail's game.
I don't know. There's been a couple,
It did, but we won. So haha.
There's a couple games where he just been on. I don't know, something about seeing him do that little step back three or pull up three, especially when he on that little solo run where he got like the last couple buckets. It's just crazy. But Steph Curry 56 points when the reporter asked Jamal Mosley, like, aside from Steph Curry, what was the difference in this game? And Jamal Mosley just comes out and straight says, like, Steph had 56 points. There was no other difference. And I think that's just how it is literally some nights. I wonder if there actually says that more when, like, a player pops off. Like, sometimes it's just, you can't do shit about it when a super talented player is on and he's on, like, on fire.
Yeah, and I remember at halftime they asked Paulo, what's the plan going into next time? He said we're going to have to find a way to contain Steph Curry. There was no way to contain Steph Curry.
Sometimes he just can't.
And when he said that, I was like, he must not know. He must not know when Steph got it going like this, there is no containing him. You just got to weather the storm damn near. Because he essentially, Steph Curry that night was like the only form of offense. That was what was also so crazy about that night is that no one else was doing anything, and he literally had to backpack.
Nobody else was doing anything
to beat the Magic.
The Magic decided to score that game as well. I remember watching that game and being like, the Magic are answering back. Steph Curry hit a three.
I think didn't Paulo have 40 that game?
Did he?
I'm pretty sure Paulo had 41 that game.
That definitely got overshadowed by Steph there because I do not remember 40. But I remember them as a team. He probably had to score 40 if they had that many points. But I felt like they was answering the Warriors when Steph would do something crazy. It felt like he was taking a life out of the building, and the Magic would find a way to answer with, somebody else making a three and somebody else stepping up. And then Steph just kind of took that game over, man.
Yep, he had 41, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Yep, and then Franz had 27, and then Cole Anthony had 11. That's the next highest score. So it essentially was like the stars. It was just Paulo and Franz, and on the other side, it was just Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry's next highest score was Quentin Post with 18. Jimmy Butler had 5.7 rebounds and 4 assists.
Quentin Post with 18. That's a lot of points from Quentin Post.
It is.
Quentin
Post is doing his thing.
One of the other memories I got, one of my last ones, the Mike Brown firing. Just because it was just like Mike Brown got fired. It felt like it was De'Aaron Fox kind of pushing for that. They had the lip reading people out. They going to the practice. They showing him give the team a speech. Then Doug Christie came in and started winning games. And then De'Aaron Fox get traded. And he's saying one of the reasons he wanted to get traded is because they fired Mike Brown. And then we was all like, wait, what? He thought you were the reason that Mike Brown got fired. It just was kind of a crazy situation.
Yeah, the whole King saga was just very confusing.
And then next to it, I put D. Fox reputation. I just remember the reputation of De'Aaron Fox kind of shrinking a little bit. And I remember all of the Kings fans kind of going at him, and he responded. And every single time he could address something, he was doing the social media interviews and everything like that. And they just kept having these back and forths or whatever. And it was the first time I seen like De'Aaron Fox not be talked about or discussed.
Yeah.
In a positive way. And it was kind of similar to the window situation that you brought up earlier for Drop the Mic, where it's kind of like it's really real in the sports world when you're a player or a star player, where like they're going to build you up to tear you down. And I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox is right or wrong in how he handled anything, but like at some point you're going to wear a villain. You're going to wear a villain robe or a villain cape at some point in these sports industries. No matter what you do. If you have to leave a team, the fan base is going to be like, damn. If you hit a big shot against another fan base, they not going to rock with you because you just killed their chance. You could be
the best player on one of the best teams in the NBA, and you're going to get some hate.
Yeah.
Like, Shea ain't done shit wrong. They call him the biggest foul, one of the biggest foul baiters all the time. Like,
y'all watched the Nokia video?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah.
I think the internet is crazy, too, because people are saying that Party Next Door is being used because he wasn't in the video. And I was just like, he wasn't in the song.
Yeah.
And also, that's the biggest song on the album. And it just, coincidentally, he's not on it.
How the hell was he using Party Next Door?
It's the internet.
First of all, didn't he bring
Sound like
Party? Didn't he bring Party on?
Sound like Party Next Door getting a free fucking check to me. Them Nokia streams is going on that album.
It is.
It's counting towards the album that they both names is on. So Obviously, Drake probably getting a big split of that, but shit, party
Big,
next door
yeah.
walking away
he
with
walked
something.
away comfortably.
He walked away with something. Yeah.
But yeah, that Sacramento Kings thing, you definitely hit it on the head with that one. I don't have any more. That was my last one.
Damn, I just can't believe that the league is like, we about a week or so from being in it's April right now.
You know what's funny about making this list? I think KB has said one word to describe this season is fine, because I think there hasn't been like a lot of big moments.
You and KB are crazy when y'all say that to me. It's a year where Luka got traded.
That is, but like I'm talking about like I don't know. It just
What are you
it
missing out on?
Yeah, tell us what you're missing. We have 2 teams in each conference going fucking nuclear.
Yeah.
One was not even expected. We expected them to be good, but we didn't expect the Cavs to be this good. The Pistons just tripled their win total after having one of the craziest fucking years
I don't know
ever.
what it is, but this season don't feel like it has like seasons in the past, and I don't know what it is, what it's missing.
I thought this was
It
one of the
feels
more
cool.
exciting
Me too.
seasons.
I
honestly.
just got a thing on my phone, a notification that said Kevin Durant says we're currently at the peak of NBA basketball.
Yeah.
Because like anything that you wanted, you got this year. We've gotten drama, fighting, Jimmy Butler acting a damn fool, stars traded, 56
They had
from Steph.
LeBron James get up in the second quarter to go talk to Stephen A. Smith and tell him to stop talking about his son.
Oh, that
We had
was
5
that was
All NBA talents traded in 1 year. We got teams that were supposed to be good are ass and Laufenstein. Like you could just poke at them. You got teams that was just ass a year ago. You still got ass teams who didn't win a game in November. The Timberwolves and the whatchamacallits are just fault. And the Pistons
And
just fault.
I feel like this has been a year for the old hits. Kevin Durant has had an amazing season. The Suns really haven't been on shit, but like James Harden's 50-point game was on my list too. First one to do it in the new Intuit Dome too. He got 20 free throws that game. Like Steph Curry still been on, and like this early this
Jokic
season,
had 30, 20, 20.
it's been the old head season, man. They
Russell
still been
Westbrook
putting
still
on.
getting triple doubles.
Russell Westbrook would have been like he legit had. They would not be in this spot if he was not on the roster this season.
Yeah.
He has carried them sometimes when Jokic's been on the bench or when he has sat out.
You got good players. I mean, you got good teams. The Rockets are just a really good team. Don't get me wrong. Jalen Green has impressed the hell out of me, and has put together a really good complete season after we've kind of was like, what really is Jalen Green? Sengun, all those guys. That's just a really good team of young players. And I think the youthness of that team gets overshadowed because the Thunder are so damn young too. But yeah, I just don't know. If you are an NBA fan, you got a little bit of everything this year.
And
you
I'm
got
mad.
a little bit of everything.
I'm mad because I want more. I wanted Philly to be good. I
Yes,
wanted them to
exactly.
be. I
Yeah.
wanted the Suns to be a little bit more competitive. I wanted the Pelicans to be healthy. Like I wanted more.
In a year where the Celtics last year kind of ran through everything, the Eastern Conference said bet.
Yeah.
Now it's shaping up to look like the Celtics shouldn't run through everything. If they do, nobody can say anything about the Celtics again as far as disrespect. Because last year, cool. This year, if the Celtics run through the playoffs again, I don't want to
Cavs
hear
are saying
nothing.
no.
And I'm a Knicks fan, by the way. We don't rock with the Celtics. But I give credit when it's due. If they run through these playoffs, if the Thunder run through their playoffs, I don't care how good the Thunder are. The Western Conference, we talked all year. Western Conference, loaded, stat, loaded, stat. If they run through their conference too.
I was thinking that watching that Celtics Grizzlies game because like the Celtics were down, and when I say they casually tied
Took
up the game,
and then
took the
shot it
game,
over,
just went over. I'm like,
I do think it's crazy that they fired Taylor Jenkins because they were struggling to beat above 500 teams, and then since he got fired, they lost to the Lakers and the Celtics. They both above 500 teams.
well, I mean, there was gonna be some type of like
Yeah, they definitely fireman was like, all right, it's a low.
quick turnaround.
Everything
Yeah.
is fixed.
Nah.
But yeah, I back to the conversation.
Beating the Celtics in a 7-game series is still like
It's
I
a
just
tall
don't see-
task.
yeah.
That's a tall
Yeah.
task. I want to go back to you, and I wish KB was here too, because I want him to tell me what he's missing. Because you saying you can't put it into words. But if this year is fine, we are in not we, because I'm enjoying it. You and KB are in trouble, brother. Another Luka ain't getting traded.
I'll give you some like a different question. What happened last year that didn't happen this year? that stands out to you?
Watch, he gonna say he don't remember shit from last year. It was so good, but you don't remember nothing.
I'm just saying, it had to be like just super exciting, and something had to stand out.
I don't remember. But I do feel like
It don't make sense.
It's a hard question, but like I'm just thinking,
if it's that much better than this year for you, you gotta. I would think you remember something. That's all I'm saying. It is tough. We barely remember shit that happened
was
this year.
All-Star better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially the format.
Yes.
This year's format.
Now I
is so
can't
bad.
tell you where the fuck we was at.
I was gonna say that.
We were in
because Indiana.
Oh shit! We get old. The games and shit was better. The environment not fucking close. San Francisco all day.
But
hotel not even close. San Francisco all day.
We didn't get the type of trades we did.
LeBron actually played in the All-Star
He
game.
did play. That's when we walked around that ramp.
Yes.
Talking about, oh, it's going upstairs. Walking in a whole circle.
We walked up the handicap ramp.
That shit took us nowhere.
In a whole fucking different arena. Talking about, KB, where you at? Where you in Austin at? We don't see y'all.
It definitely was driving me crazy because he's like, we in section 300, row 14, and we looking at the row. He's just like, you not there.
That lady said, what are y'all doing? Come with me.
Oh no, because remember the
Move.
arena had like, it was split.
Yeah.
Like there was one court on the other side.
Yeah, and we moved the curtain and saw nobody playing.
Yeah, we're like, how the hell is you over there when there's literally like half the arena is just gone? Nobody's using that part of the arena. How are you over there?
That lady act like Obama was in the building. She said, y'all
right
coming with me. Everybody move out they way. Y'all down there.
Y'all got credentials?
We say, oh shit, okay.
We had the damn celebrity game.
Yeah, I don't know. Last year was good, definitely. But this year is crazy. I feel like this year is last year on steroids because it ain't just the Celtics running away. You have multiple teams throwing their hat in. You have a legitimate conversation as far as the MVP. Who won MVP last year?
Jokic.
Okay. Who won Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year.
Victor went behind.
Vicky.
Now I'm testing you because you know what I'm saying? Who the Celtics play in the Eastern Conference Finals?
The Pacers.
Okay. Trade deadline action?
Now I will trade deadline. Shit, I don't know. I don't remember who got traded last year.
That's something significant that this year has over last year.
Then we get OG, Pascal. I don't know if it's always on the deadline, but those are the trades that happen. We got
OG, Pascal, yeah.
Was that it?
Nah, it couldn't have been it. Those are the main ones, I think.
I don't know if anybody's significant.
Yeah, I can't. I'm blank on that.
But what are you saying that this year, the trades, they got them on the trades?
Yeah, this year definitely got him on a trade.
Carl
Just player
Anthony
movement in
Towns was
general.
traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat being traded was still shocking. Still can't believe y'all got Cat. Y'all really got Cat.
We really got Cat.
Y'all really got Cat, man.
We really got Cat.
That don't even make sense, man.
And guess what? He had like his best year.
Yeah, he got
career
better.
year. Yeah. He really, really, really took it up a notch. This has been like a crazy. That's my whole point that I was getting to. You're entitled to like whatever year you like, or feel how you feel about this year. I just can't believe it's April.
Yeah,
I legitimately cannot believe it's April. I feel like we were just talking about opening night, and I feel like all y'all said the same thing too, where it's like, yeah, the Celtics, they kicked the Knicks' ass, but the Knicks didn't even play bad, as crazy as that may sound. When you look at the score, the Celtics just couldn't miss a single three, and you got Cat playing drop coverage. They're just walking into threes. Splat out, splat out, splat out.
Yeah.
I remember the Lakers playing that opening night, the big conversation about Bronny and all the different opinions that we all had. I remember speculation. I remember the Suns getting off to a nice start. It was like, oh shit, Bud, fix the Suns.
KD was in MVP conversations. That's actually so crazy. They literally played completely different in that first month. Like they literally was like, there was so much player movement and ball movement. The ball wasn't sticking. Guys was making one more passes, and it was looking like a very fluid and beautiful offense that was being orchestrated.
This is my theory too.
Before you get to this theory, really quick, you know something that I was going to write down, but I don't think it would have been a big enough memory for them?
Yeah.
that I will never forget because of you.
What'd I do?
When that man came into that game on a minutes restriction
Paul George
and took over, and we was in Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Suns versus 76ers.
Yes.
I will never forget that. Darrick is in there like, what is he doing? Maxey just standing to the side. Go get the ball.
I think Maxey had like 30 too.
Yes, and we're just like, do you?
And then, yeah, they literally just put the ball in Paul George's hands and let him
He
run
at the top of the
offense.
key time. I was like, looking injured as hell. Moving slow as shit. I'm like, oh, man, I'll never forget that. I will never forget that.
He was brought in to compliment Maxey.
That was one of my favorite memories. I'll never forget that. You don't have a mic, and that drives.
Yeah.
We did that already once in the episode with it. That shit was crazy. But yeah, that's
James Harden got traded last season. The Clippers trade was last season.
it wasn't at the deadline though.
Oh,
He
that's
said the
why I
deadline.
was trying to ask for
Yeah,
clarification.
no, it went at the deadline.
Because that was November
That was like the
1st.
cat, at the same time as the cat. Yeah, that was all my memories though, man. Hell of a year. Next year, All Stars in Los Angeles.
Yes, it is.
Are y'all ready for that?
Crypto.com arena.
Juking.
Is it at Crypto or is it
No,
Intuit?
it's at Crypto. I mean,
It better be at Crypto.
It's at Intuit. Yeah.
It said into it?
Yeah, it's at Intuit.
Why would you want it at Crypto?
I don't know why I said Crypto. That was my bad.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
It's
'cause
Intuit.
Intuit does have a.
'Cause,
We
It
haven't been there yet either.
No, we
Yeah, I
haven't.
haven't.
And that's why I was impressed with that they were able to get it right after getting their new arena.
I just say how LA be sometimes.
Also,
man.
being in the arena for the All Star is not the same as like being in the arena for their actual team.
at
if
all,
that makes sense.
at all.
Because I was thinking about how when we went to the Lakers Clippers game, that shit was super dope. It was. Like the vibes were immaculate. I don't think it could still be really good.
The other time
not
we
gonna
went
be
to
the same
Chase
as the
Center
All-Star.
was not the same as All Star either. We went to Chase Center twice before All Star, and it was still cool, but it was.
We didn't even go to the All-Star game. We flew home.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Watch
I
this
guess
shit.
so. The festivities wasn't the same as you did.
I also just didn't. I didn't care to. I don't know. Especially once LeBron was sitting, they announced he wasn't playing, and it just wasn't. Going home seemed like the best bet.
I don't disagree. That's why I took my ass. We was on the same flight. Yeah,
Yep.
we was on the same
We
flight.
was on the same flight. KB was the one that had to stay.
Yeah.
Back to that little theory real quick.
Oh yeah. This is a Suns theory.
Not just for the Suns, but I think the first about 10 to maybe even 15 games could be about as open for anybody. Just because at the start of the season, a lot of teams are trying to figure what they're playing in, just figure themselves out and test the waters. So it's like, I could really see a team, not even just the Suns, being like a quick 9-1, having that super hot start, and then just kind of falling off as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think teams start to figure each other out too. Mm-hmm. You know, you keep going, and then people are like, you know, why are we guarding Nurkic? Why are we doing such a thing?
Yeah.
Also,
what
I
I'm saying?
think when shit get rocky, how do you stick to your good habits? Because like I felt like I also questioned when the Suns when it ain't all pretty, are they gonna continue to have the same fluid and ball moving offense once things ain't going too well? And you see that they kind of resorted back to the heavy ISO and not as fluid as it was when it first started.
I just don't like it because
And they don't defend shit. They are awful. There's like no effort on the defensive side of the ball.
well, they don't fight at all. Like
No.
they're playing like a team that's just trying to play until the rest of the season ends.
But they've played like that for a minute now.
I mean, that's what happened. That's why I said I'm surprised Bradley Beal would stay there, knowing that like he is a big part of why the vibe is just low.
Yeah,
That
this
boy
thing
don't-
would
He
just
just ride it out, and I mean, cashing that check every month or whatever, 2 weeks or whatever, gotta feel good. But
He was gonna catch that regardless of where he at.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. That's just a hard place to be.
He said he don't feel like moving his family again.
They don't gotta move.
What you mean they ain't got to move?
They can stay where they at.
Yeah,
Only he
My
gotta
ass
move.
he can get a little hotel or not a hotel. He can get an apartment,
Condo,
Airbnb.
luxury condo.
He probably
Let-
want to stay with his wife.
Let me ask y'all this. I don't blame him. March Madness wrapping up, getting to the ends of it. What has been the biggest thing? And it ain't no right or wrong question. I'm not quizzing y'all anything. This is just y'all giving y'all opinion. There's no wrong answer. What were some of the things that stood out in the viewing experience watching that versus when you watch NBA basketball, which you mostly watch?
How much more bigs are utilized? I think that's always one thing that stands out in college because, like, you could definitely tell it's definitely way more big-centric than, like, it is in the NBA where it's more so perimeter and guard-centric. And I always think that the big man, keeping your big man happy is always one thing that you see in college that a lot of teams do. The bigs are going to get a lot of touches, and it's going to essentially open up a lot more offensively for you.
I would say two big things, and they kind of coincide with each other. Free throws, and then just like leads late game don't really matter. Like a 10-point game with a minute left, that's doable. And I think that's partly like with the one-on-one type thing.
Yep.
I remember I asked, we were just talking about what additions could the NBA add, and I said like maybe a one-on-one type thing, just to add to the excitement factor. And it's just like college shows that like it could add a big difference when it comes to late game and may having a crazy comeback and having a crazy shots. Like it could be effective.
That goes into my next question. He already gave his answer essentially. What's something that you watch and seen that you wouldn't mind be implemented into the NBA? Because that 1-and-1, I could only imagine.
1-and-1. Yeah, that's exactly where I was about to go.
Get it off the rim. Man, that would change the entire landscape.
I do think the NCAA needs to add some of the NBA rules.
Like what?
Continuation. I think that's all. If a guy gets contact and he's able to finish through it and continue getting to the basket, that should be considered an and-one, just like it is in the NBA. Also, I think
it's 50-50. They say it ain't, but then some guys give it, some guys don't. But I get you.
And also, I think the being able to advance the ball when you call a timeout. I hate that you got to dribble the ball up the court, call a timeout, and then you get the ball where you call timeout at. I think being able to call a timeout to advance the ball is something that they should implement, especially when it comes tournament time. Sometimes you only got 3 seconds to get the ball the full length of the court. I think that's unfortunate.
Also, this is a question for you. This is just me being like newer to like actually watching college basketball and everything like that. I think this was Arkansas's game, maybe a few games. Maybe this was like actually Texas Tech game, like the first four. But this was late in game and they're trying to inbound the ball. He inbounded it to somebody who ran out of bounds for him to inbound. That was like legal. The first time I seen that, and that shit blew my mind that they did that.
Wait, what? He passed the ball to someone who's...
So what happens is you're inbounding the ball.
Yeah.
It's me, Austin, Mike, and Christian were on the court. Christian runs out of... He's on the floor with us. We lined up. He runs out of bounds. Mm-hmm. You throw him the ball while you're out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And you go in, and he can just throw it into you real quick.
Oh, shit.
It's not out of bounds.
Yeah, because it never came inbounds.
Exactly. That's why I'm surprised. I didn't know that you never seen that before.
I never seen that before.
But they can't do that in the NBA?
I've never seen it. I don't think I've seen anybody do it in the NBA. I can't speak on that surely. I don't think I've seen anybody do it, but I've seen it a lot.
I just remember it clearly because they were having a problem getting the ball in bounds. They called a couple timeouts, and then it was like, let's just run that.
Yeah, it was literally Arkansas. Mm-hmm. It was Arkansas. Coach Cal was like, you know what? Y'all fuckers can't get the ball in, so this is what we're going to do. Take this back to high school. You're going to line up. He's going to run in, and he's going to save your ass because you can't get the ball in. And so, but yeah.
Yeah, that was just funny to me.
I was super happy and proud to see y'all watch college basketball, get those texts from Darrick and everything. You know, random. I liked it at the beginning because everybody get to watch something different. You know, I might be locked into these two games, and then I get a text from Darrick like, man, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe they ain't just called that charge. And then it made me go to that game or whatever.
I
remember watching Hubbard. Hubbard was spazzing.
Yes, when you and Josh Hubbard, and it's funny because he had just like the teed up post a couple of days before that. I forgot what I was saying and then see you said that. I'm like, yeah, Josh Hubbard.
Yeah, I looked him up. I was like, damn, he 5'10",
getting buckets.
He a bucket at 5'10", and I was like, oh, is he projected to make it to the league at some point?
I haven't seen it, but I don't rule it out for anybody. Yeah, you get one proper summer league invite and show your ass. Grind the G League for 2 years, but I have not seen him on a draft.
Especially when you can score the way he can.
I definitely was watching games too, like in a different way than I have in past because, I mean, before it was just like I want to learn the players because I want to be ready for the draft, but like I was just watching games. Like I honestly felt it was cool that when I liked the player and I kind of looked him up and it was just like he's nowhere near the draft. Like he's a graduate.
Player, yeah.
He's just a graduate. He's still playing because he got his year eligibility. I'm like,
that's how me and Christian kicked it off. I started rocking with Christian when we would talk about it, and one of the players he brought to me was like, now listen, I don't know if he's gonna go to the NBA, but he's a good college player. And I was like, my respect growing up for you in that conversation, because that's what it's sometimes about. We have so much to look at the draft and who can be in the league. There's also a world where it's nothing wrong with being a good Division I basketball player, and I don't think we give enough light and credit to that, and we put so much pressure on our youth basketball players to like, if they can't make it to the league, then they ain't on shit. And it's like, that's not the case. And that's why all of these high school kids got like, it's either Division I or nothing. It's like, no, go to college free, grind your way up, maximize your ability, have fun, and then let the chips fall they may.
And you can always go overseas. You have that option too. Like Kendrick Nunn, I know he's a former NBA player, but he just signed the biggest deal for Europe.
Yeah.
And he's somebody who couldn't really find his place in
But
the
even
NBA.
outside of professional basketball, it's nothing wrong with being a good Division I basketball player. Or just a good collegiate basketball player, collegiate athlete, in any sport. And yeah, like you saying, you do have these other parallels where you could go to the NBA, you could go overseas, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But we don't shed enough light on just being like, I feel like everything is about, you go on Twitter right now, you be like, man, I like this blah, blah, blah dude from Kansas State. Somebody's going to be like, where is he projected? You know what I mean? Like, that's instantly what people want to know. And I feel like we got so lost from like just having really good. Just
enjoying it. I feel like that's one thing, I guess, just watching the games again. Like, you can see this is some of the happiest times of these players' lives, like competing in this tournament, being at this stage and high of a level that you can't do nothing but enjoy it for them, because they should be enjoying the moment. You know, this is some of their last years, if not last year, playing professional basketball or playing at a high level.
Yeah. Me and my dad were just talking about Braden Smith yesterday, and it's like, the dude can really hoop. I haven't seen him on a mock draft. Maybe not an NBA player, but Braden Smith can really hoop at Purdue. Really, really hoop. My respect growing up for him a lot, because I thought I didn't have a really good view of him because he played with Edie, but then to see him kind of do what he did this year without Edie was super, super impressive. And it's just, again, another reminder of there's this world where there's just really good basketball players who may not be translatable or NBA talent, and that's perfectly fine, because then there's also guys who are NBA talent and still won't make it because it's only so many spots. It's only 30 teams with 12 to 15 roster spots, so it's like everybody
around 400.
Literally everybody can't make it. There is a bunch of
NBA in terms of being an actual player.
Yeah. Kendrick Nunn was an NBA talent. He was on the NBA roster doing this shit, and he's not no more because it's just literally not enough room.
Yeah. But what would you say stops certain people? They're really good college players. What is it that NBA scouts look at and say, nah?
Translatable skills.
Translatable skills.
So you look at a big, a lot of bigs that dominate college. As a scout, you have to ask yourself, who's running the offense like that? Is anybody in the NBA or the team I work for, are we playing that way that they play? Are we going to play like Gonzaga? Is Drew Timme going to come here and we're going to run our offense through Drew Timme like we did in Gonzaga? No. Do we feel like Drew Timme is going to be able to dominate NBA bigs? Is he going to be able to make the St. Mary's Center? Is he going to be able to make Joel Embiid look like that? We don't think so.
Okay.
Braden Smith or Josh Hubbard it's impressive that they're doing what they're doing in the Big Ten and the SEC or the Big 12, whatever. Do we feel like they're going to be able to come in the NBA and do that on a Dyson Daniels? That's the reality. Jaden McDaniels will now be guarding you every single night.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing.
But then you also got guys like Jimmy Fredette that the Kings took. And all of a sudden, they oh, shit, he isn't meant to be in the NBA. So it's actually kind of funny that they, no one, I don't know, I did because I was young and dumb, and I thought Jimmy would come.
A lot of people did, because I remember being in high school.
He would do what he was doing.
And
he had the Lil Wayne put him in a song, too.
Yeah, so he did.
I thought he was legit.
Shooting like Jimmy.
That's that was Sure Thing?
Yeah.
That was a time where that was like I loved and hated that time because number one, I was right, but I hated it because we were so young.
Yeah.
And I was so used to talking basketball with my dad that when I had to talk to my peers about it, they used to make me so mad because they would think that I was being a hater. Because everybody in school was on the Jimmy for the hype. He was the hottest shit ever. I was too when he was in college.
That's a stepping above half court, shooting the ball.
But then when it became draft time, I remember the people I was having a conversation with in high school, of being like, Jimmer is not, or was I in high school? Maybe I was in high school. I know I was in high school with Doug McDermott. But because I had the same thing where it's like the way that Jimmer Fredette plays, I just don't see it translate. There's no way anybody's giving him the ball. He's walking past half court and just shooting.
Bro, I'm looking at some of the highlights right now, bro. They crazy, like literally walking past half court.
I didn't want to go home and watch him.
Bro, it's still
so
exciting,
crazy,
but like when you think about that and like as an adult now and as this being our job, if you pulling up, watch him and just ask yourself, how the fuck was he supposed to be able to do this in the NBA?
Yeah.
He creates little separation, which is why he's shooting from fucking half court. He's not that athletic. He doesn't have that much of a bag. The playmaking was never crazy. And at the end of the day, he was 6'1", 6'2". So it ain't like he's 6. If he was 6'6", you could just have him be a spot up guy.
Yeah.
But there is no 6'2", no bag having shooting guards who just spotting up.
No.
And when you put all that into play, you think like, yeah,
Unless
this shit ain't gonna work.
was literally shooting 45% from three, 10 3+ threes a game. Like he wasn't gonna be able to do what he was doing.
And then the other was Doug McDermott. I will never forget the YMCA we all used to go to. You know the dude. Used to be with the Nayas, had the glasses, dreads.
Yeah, AJ.
AJ and his like cousins and brother and them, we all walking out, it's like me, Ontario, and them. They are like the Bulls just drafted Doug, and they're like, man, how y'all feel about, man, the Bulls got Doug. They saying he gonna average 18. I'm like, bro, he's not finna average 18 fucking minutes. And they all of them are like, oh hell no, you bugging, you don't know basketball, you hating, da. I'm like, brother, remember this conversation. Doug McDermott is not gonna be the player that y'all. He's gonna be cool. But y'all think he finna do what he did in the college with the Bulls, you out of your fucking mind. And again, as another conversation where you gotta sound like a hater, but then that's when I started to realize, because a few years after we started doing our podcast, and that's when I was like, cool, I don't have to go into the open world and give my basketball knowledge out to just anybody. I just have my job in my safe haven. So now when I go to get my haircut at my uncle barbershop, I don't want to talk basketball respectfully. I'll let y'all talk and I'll laugh. Because you'll just have like people saying, oh, and then they think you're a hater, and it's just so much extreme bias, and people want to hear you say something about what they, barbershop talk is all about like agreeance. People just want to be agreed with.
Yeah.
And if you don't have
and
this,
it's very debate driven.
Yes.
And
it's either they want you to agree with them or they want to debate so much that they're saying anything to go against what you say.
Remember I told you about the dude that was debating LeBron versus Jordan?
What did he say again?
He said,
something out fucking
LeBron
outrageous.
don't play no defense. He get all his blocks from running from behind. I said, bro, y'all literally just be talking, bro.
Hey, that's got to be one of the most
That's fucking crazy, bro. Just say you, like, I don't even know what to say to that. Just say you don't fucking like Bron, and I'll just be like, okay, all right.
Yeah. To say he don't play defense, he get all his blocks from behind. It's one of the
He said Jordan wasn't doing that. He was facing up. He was locking people down.
This is literally with the shit that they say in barbers. Like, that's why when I can get my hair cut and my uncle be like, yeah, that's my nephew. I said it. I'd be like, it's that, and then it's always the other thing.
Because if people know your job is related to talking basketball, they feel like they have to talk basketball with you.
Yes. And then you start to get into your expertise, and then they doubt you, and they be like, bro, trust me, bro. I'll be able to tell people, like, you know what? That's cool. Like, bro, I really watch. I know you're not watching because you just told me that you didn't know who, number one, TJ McConnell is, and you damn near didn't even know Siakam don't play for the Raptors no more. If you know Siakam. That's how you know what type of conversation you get into.
I know somebody that, like, I don't see really regularly. Like, maybe every few weeks I see him. and he loved talking basketball. Even if it was not me, like he just liked talking about it, like he know it. But I promise you, I asked him not so long ago. He said, "Man, I ain't watched basketball since Rondo was on the Celtics."
But he loved talking.
But he loved talking. I'm like, bro, he one of the people that you really like. You just laugh with. You don't really try to like get more out of the conversation.
He probably just honestly just on Facebook and just go with what they see. A lot of people, if you go on Facebook, they in their own world, bro.
Yeah,
legitimately.
It's like its own world. It don't even make sense.
It's actually fucked up because we used to be on that bitch 24/7.
Yes.
Motherfuckers would get in trouble because of how much Facebook they was on.
And like,
motherfuckers trying to get on Facebook in the school. The school got to put in blockers so you can't go on certain websites because we all wanted to be on Facebook. And now, I open it up to remember birthdays, to see what family is doing. And every time I do it, I see dumb shit. Mike sent that NBA talk shit, and I joined it on some shits and giggles years ago, and I'm still in that group, and you would just see dumb shit, bro.
I forgot about that NBA talk.
It's nothing but guys who be in a barbershop talking basketball on Facebook.
It really do.
Those are the places where, like, my dad would call me and be like, "Son," he'd be like, "What up, pops? LaMelo on the Bucks?" I'd be like, "No, hell no. You can't even, mathematically, that don't even work." He's like, "Oh shit, I saw something on Facebook, boy. I was about to say." I'm like, "Oh hell no, pops.
And
Stay off of
Facebook be making their own.
But see, my pops got me to call.
Their own news.
Hey, no, I went on to that basketball stuff talk on Facebook. Have y'all seen that picture of LeBron James talking to Cooper Flag?
Yes.
Just started out, he said, "What advice can Bron really give a young player?" No shade, I'm being serious. Only thing I can think of is him telling him, "Don't make the same mistakes I made." Just be talking on there.
I don't know, man. I have no idea what they be on.
Bron can't give no young player knowledge, giving him some advice. Not the best player of all, one of the best players all time, top 2, if not the one.
What's y'all biggest pet peeve about having this as a job?
Probably explaining it to people, like what I do.
Right, like when you
older
meet
people.
Elena parents or whatever, and they're like, "What do you do? What do you say?" It's much. I would say it's much easier now because you could just
you just kind of
I also think I think it's more so they don't think it's a real job like the older generation. I think they still confused that you don't have to go clock in and like punch a clock.
Mm-hmm.
My people over that, they've been over that for a while. But it was a lot harder trying to explain what HOH was.
Yeah.
They like, how?
Like, you seen the Instagram page?
Yeah, and they like, "No, I don't have Instagram." It's like, so then I stopped saying HOH, and then I started saying TNT.
Yeah.
Just make it simple. It's TNT.
Yes.
You know what TNT is, right? You watch TNT? Yep, that shit. It's the same thing with like saying like it would be like saying Omaha. So instead of saying Omaha, you know Peyton Manning, right? You know Peyton, with his shit,
right.
ESPN. You know what I mean?
Make it as simple as possible.
As simple as possible, man. As simple as possible.
Because HOH, a lot of people know what it is, but a lot of people don't know what it is. Like in the outside world, like especially people that's 40 plus, they're not gonna know what that is. Damn, the 35 plus won't even know what it is.
I met a man yesterday at the Target, running the Target real quick. He saw I had a White Sox hat on. He say, like, "Nice hat, man. Big fan?" I'm like, "I'm such a big fan. I'm happy we 2-2. He like, "Believe it or not," listen, look at him while I say this. He say, "Believe it or not, I rep both." I say, "Hey man, I get it. My grandfather was a big Cubs fan." He started talking. He's like, "What do you do? You from around here or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "All right, I work for ESPN. I mean, I'm a sports analyst. We have a show." Like, "Oh man, really?" or whatever. And then he hit me with "What's the end goal?" I said, "Shit, I want to be a GM."
I was at the store one day and dude seen me have like a Warrior shirt on, so he's asking me, he's like, "Are you from the area?" And I'm like, "Nah, I just like basketball." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, I got into like my job or whatever. He's like, "Did you have to go to school for any of that?" And I'm like, "No." And that shit did not make no sense to him at all.
But when I was able to throw out this, it made everything kind of click for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." So you can watch me tomorrow, man, if you think I'm lying.
Yeah, I one time had that White Sox situation with a worker at Trader Joe's. I was walking in with a hat, and he said, and they had did something big in the offseason. He was like, they just made that big trade. I forgot what they did.
They signed Andrew Benintendi to the biggest.
Yeah. And he was like, you saw what they just did, right? I was like, yeah, I saw all my homies, they talking about it in the group chat. He was like, man, very excited now.
But yeah, I was like, once you start the ESPN shit, it's just. But he was like, oh, really? Like, people be thinking you lying because people don't know that you can do some shit like that here. They think you have to be, they think it's 2000 where if you got to be in LA or you got to be in Bristol, Connecticut.
Yeah.
He like here. And I'm like, yep, right? No, bro. I said, you probably ride past my studio every day and don't got a clue. Don't got a clue. We up in there making a show that you can turn on ESPN and go watch today.
Yeah.
What's the what do you say when you explain it to like Angie's parents or your family?
I say I got a TV show with ESPN.
Oh, okay.
That kind of like makes it easier. When I was with HOH, I would be like, you see what they do on ESPN? We do that just with a different company, and it's just not on TV yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's on YouTube. And they'd be like, so how does that pay the bills? I'll be like,
don't worry about it. It's paying.
They don't understand how you get paid. They'd be like, is it sponsorships? Like, they always think it's some sort of like sponsor attached to it or something like that. But like, yeah, it does in a way, but no, it doesn't in the other way.
Just trust me.
Yeah.
Just trust me.
They don't really be trusting it because it's not traditional.
My people trust.
Yeah.
I said my deal, and I said, hey, here goes the envelope, Mom. Here goes the envelope, Pops. They open them over. Damn. Oh, yeah.
It's real.
It's real. it's real.
I know my mom probably felt it was real when I told her, like, I'm moving out.
I'm moving.
And I gave her like a month's notice. I was like too ready to get the hell up out of there. She was like, you sure you don't want to take some more time?
He said.
Yeah, I was out of there like in less than a month, bro.
My mom did the same thing when I moved out. She was like, you sure you want to do this? Like, she like all the way up until she's like, you sure you want to make this decision? And I did it, but she was definitely, I feel like moms be scared.
It was a reality. It's like a reality because you know the day coming, but it's just like after so long, like 20 plus years, like
and you her first son.
Yeah.
I was the baby.
The baby, yeah.
So
I'm my mom first. My mom was kind of excited and like happy because she knew the time has to come. But I use all of my time. I use all of my time, and I know my mom was like, damn, but I know she knew that I had to leave eventually. Like I was like 27 or something, 26, 27. So yeah, it was like that time was like at any moment now. And then obviously she knew what we was doing. Once we got like the first contracts with like HOH, where it was like some decent enough money where like you could buy a car and kind of like just take care of real good shit, she kind of knew that at any time during then, like I was making enough to kind of support myself. But I was just kind of taking my time. But I don't think she showed how she really wanted to feel because she wanted me to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I was ready to go, but at the same time, I was like, it's gonna be so different.
Yeah,
it's so fucking different.
But it's also like a good different too.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really
you
is.
feel independent. Like,
but to this day, I go to my mom's house and I go like in the basement and just look at it and be like, I can't believe like I was just occupying this little ass space. Cause now I got a whole house that's filled up and I feel like I got shit everywhere in my house. And it's like I used to cram all that shit in here.
my parents moved into like their house. A little bit after I moved out. So it's like I don't go back to my old room or whatever like that. But when they were still in that apartment, like I would go back and my sister had took my old room, so all my shit was gone.
Yeah.
I remember I was left my my PC was like the last thing I brought over because I didn't even have internet or something like for like the first day or two. And so I wanted to go back over to my room and play my game, because I just ain't got shit else to do. And I remember I went over there and all my shit was disconnected. My sister was in my room laid up on her iPad on the bed. I'm like, bro,
what the hell?
I'm like, bro, y'all kicked me out that fast? Like, I just needed a few days.
Thirsty.
But, yeah, it's, I don't know. It's a really cool thing, though.
It was so much better than I thought. I remember, the last night, so you move, you sign your lease, Depending on how cool your landlord is, you got like a move-in day or whatever. And your move-in day may not be the very next day. It may be like on Monday, you sign your lease on Thursday, and you're like, yeah, Monday is the move-in day. So you got like a countdown, you buying boxes and everything. And so I remember kind of counting those days down in my head. And then like every day I started packing more and more and more. And I remember my computer shit was the last shit because I wanted to be on the game talking to y'all. Yeah. And I remember that last night, I was like, damn, like this is it. I was like looking around like from this point on, this is done.
I was so excited though. Like
I was excited, but then at the same time, for whatever reason, I was like, man, that first night is gonna be tough. But hell no, that first night wasn't shit because Kevin Durant got traded.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I was able to work and just get lost in it. And before I knew it, a week went by, and everything was good. And and we lived so close to our parents still that it wasn't, I can't imagine having to make that move like some other people, and you go around the world.
Oh yeah.
Like your mom, moving from your mom and your dad, and you move into like fucking San Francisco. And it's like that is crazy. I could still drive and see my family whenever.
But now you got to fly back.
Yeah,
and you
plan
probably only
it.
come back on holidays and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I love the place that we in now. And I love our landlord because like surprisingly, usually they go up on rent. They didn't go up on rent. They left it the same. And they also just said y'all can move out whenever y'all ready. You don't even have to re-sign a new lease. Y'all could just stay. And I was like, that's like the coolest shit ever. Y'all just said
How many times have you moved so far?
twice.
I've moved twice so far, like one by myself and then one with Elena. Moving isn't the worst thing.
Yeah.
Like to me no more. Like we were talking about when our lease come up, Elena's like, I'd rather just stay here so we don't gotta do like shit. We could just re-sign our lease. But I'm like, I feel bad if I'm not looking for a better spot. Just cause like with apartment, I find it cool having a new spot. Like I've been in the same area for so damn long.
You want to live in a different area?
Kinda.
That's kind of, I always said that if I was single and I didn't have a family, like I probably would move around to different cities every year.
Really?
Just for fun, just for shit.
I damn sure wouldn't do that. But if I lived by myself, single, I'll probably have some shit that, like on some Ashton Hall shit. My shit would be like, I'll probably go get some shit that got like a gym in it. I'll probably just get like a 1-bedroom high up type shit. Just get some crazy shit, bro. Just like literally just be OC. Get some shit I'll pay over some unnecessary shit just to vibe out.
You sound like you would be in Oak Brook. That's probably the only place nearby that can do that, or the city. Yeah, those are probably the only two areas that can have something like that. But yeah, we wrap.
I could wrap it up.
So wrap it up.
I'd like to say that we appreciate you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. Made it this far. Throw it a thumbs up. Also, give it a comment too. Helps us in the algorithm. We'll see y'all on, what's today? Tuesday?
Today is Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll see y'all on Saturday.
KB will be back, baby. We out.
KB, we miss you. Get well, brother. We out.